This is the story of two ordinary families in a race to help save the planet. We're challenging them to change their habits. With the help of energy experts and their own personal coaches, each family is ready to go green. At the end of the 3-month competition, the winning family will drive away in a brand new electric car. The families are learning to go green, but can they change their lifestyles without giving up or cracking under the pressure? Find out next on The Greenest House. Last time on The Greenest House, we met our two families, the Edisons and the Falcones. Located in Bellingham, Washington, and living just over a mile apart, both families' quest for the green started with learning more about their current use of water, energy, and cars. And while the Edisons won the first family-to-family challenge, the contest ended in controversy.
They should have been disqualified. Carrie was just like hitting that buzzer like when we were still waiting for the question to be asked. I mean, she was just buzzing, just kept buzzing in.
What were the answers again? 74. What were all the options?
It's the greenest house, not the fairest house.
It's not the fairest house.
Most energy use happens in the home, and the Edison house, built in 1895, poses some serious challenges. The Edisons have already racked up a hefty to-do list, including sealing their ducts and insulating their water pipes. But the logs they're dutifully keeping should give Kim some useful information to help the family cut their energy usage.
Hey, Todd.
Hi, Kim. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
How you feeling after the big win?
Great.
You mind heading inside?
Come on in.
Take a look? Great.
So here's one of the logs that we've kept, and here is the previous week of logs.
Oh, wow.
And it's been interesting to see the results, notice sort of the habits that we have.
So any big surprises? Anything that...
Well, I hate to admit it, but I've noticed that I use the toilet a lot more than I thought. We certainly do. We've been doing a large amount of laundry. I think most families with kids do, especially young kids. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of laundry, and keeping track of it has been helpful.
From the bathroom to the driveway, the Logapalooza continues. Reducing Todd's car use begins with figuring out where he drives.
So here's the transportation log.
Oh, great.
You can see the date, traveled from and where to, and then the odometer reading.
Nice job. You did an excellent job getting this all done.
Yeah, I've done a pretty good job of being consistent with it.
Most of them you can see that are just 4 or 3 miles. So pretty short.
Yeah, most of them are within, under 10 miles around town, so.
Yeah. So what are you finding most of the trips you're taking are for?
Taking kids to play dates, running errands with the kids, sort of just the day-to-day stuff has been a lot greater distance than just driving to work and back. I think it's surprising that I drive 10 to 15 miles every day.
Right.
I just figured, I'm sort of 5 minutes away to work.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much it was going to add up just running errands and just doing the day-to-day stuff around town.
The Falcone home may be 100 years newer than the Edisons, but it's also got some big energy problems. Ben's on the case and arrives at the house to check in with the family.
Hey,
Hi,
Ben.
Mark.
Come on in.
How's it going?
Good.
Thanks. All right.
So, first one is, let's say this is the downstairs bathroom. Flushing the toilet seems to be maybe the biggest thing.
Biggest potential.
But, honestly, I don't know how to get around that because it's...
If you want to, you can have the if it's yellow, let it mellow rule, where people, if you pee, you don't have to flush every time. There's a whole other thing that I like, which is just making sure that when you do flush, you're using less water. And there's some good retrofit kits that we can get. The EPA has a brand new program called WaterSense as well, which is similar to an Energy Star stamp, except it's focused on water conservation.
One of the things that I find when I'm washing dishes in the kitchen is we don't want to put everything in the dishwasher.
Right.
So, you know,
right.
there's some hand washing going on.
Absolutely.
And
you actually have a rinse basin as well as a wash basin instead of just running the water to rinse your dishes. That can help save water.
The Falcones have also been keeping track of their miles.
yeah, so my trip log's in the car over here.
All right. And you've been doing it for about a week, exactly a week it looks
About
like.
a week, yeah.
And you haven't really made that many trips, so, you know, really, is this all the driving that you guys have done?
Well, we have a second car, and there's a log in that one as well.
Oh, gotcha. Of
but
course.
it's not
That's
here
the one
right
that
now.
Jalen has at work.
Yes.
Right.
So, you know, that being said, I think that one's made a few extra trips, more than this one. So this log looks pretty good.
Where are you driving mostly?
Been going to work and back. I really just hate driving.
Do you?
Yeah.
So that.
Coming up, the furnace doctors are making house calls, and we'll hear the results of the latest energy checkup. If the home is ground zero for energy use, then the furnace is the epicenter of the energy earthquake. Heating and cooling can account for a huge percentage of gas and electric bills. Many people try to reduce their bills by replacing their furnaces, but often there are other options that can give more bang for the buck.
You have a good furnace. I mean,
Right.
quality-wise, it's a good furnace.
Okay.
The most value for your dollar as far as efficiency goes, sealing the ducts and doing the insulation.
The air pressure in the ductwork's leaking in the crawl space, stirring up dust, and then the leaky return ductwork is drawing it back in.
Okay.
And you have a nice reusable filter, but unfortunately it's not the most efficient. In fact, one of the least efficient out there. Upgrading your filtration, sealing the fan compartment
Right.
on your furnace.
You're going to see a huge decrease in your bills. I mean, it's exponential.
And then it's off to the Falcones' house to find out where they can make improvements.
Here's your,
Oh my goodness.
we'll vacuum these every 2 months.
Okay.
And then this, you can take Fantastic and vacuum it off, and then squirt it with Fantastic and wash it in a laundry tub. And this particular furnace has a lot of bypass on it. It comes around the seams here.
Uh-huh.
You can put a little bit of weather stripping along here
Oh, okay.
and get a little bit better seal,
Uh-huh.
or you can put some tape around here, some foil tape, and seal that up. Right around this seam here, it's going to tend to draw a little bit of air through there.
We're really trying to educate people to invest in continuous fan furnaces that actually are energy efficient, and run their fans all the time, and over a filter and do that continuously.
In furnaces with a variable speed fan, one of the best ways to increase your comfort and save energy is to turn your fan on. The constant fan provides even heating and cooling, and the blower on a variable speed furnace is about 8 to 10 times more efficient than a standard blower. And with the fans constantly blowing air through the filters, you'll also get cleaner air.
Well, that's a lot of information.
And there's more.
There's more.
Yeah.
Next, the families find out how they can leave their cars at home as they learn about smart trips. Americans may have an ongoing love affair with their cars, but finding out how to cut back on driving means understanding when and where we hit the road.
I drive around, do outside sales stuff, so I go from place to place, talking to different people, and try to go to one location and think about who I'm talking to and who I want to see that day to make it more efficient. But I'm not doing very good at that.
We are 2 blocks from restaurants, video stores, and he'll drive to the video store, and I just don't even understand it.
Well, and I don't have a problem with my car at all. I'll plop the kids in there and we'll drive all around. Even my daughter's school is just a couple blocks away, and I'll put them in there just to drive to school.
I get driven to school every day. Sometimes I walk to my friends' houses. Nothing really big.
I mean, like, you could watch Todd from our deck drive to the school and drive back.
My son loves to be taken to school in the morning, and I actually like to take him to school in the morning. And
Yeah, Dad takes him in the morning, and the excuse is because it's very early. School starts very early, and he needs that extra 10 minutes of sleep. I think it would be really hard to take public transit with my job. It's probably not impossible, but it would make a much longer day. I'd probably use a lot more of my time to do that.
Programs are springing up all over the country to help encourage more people to bus, bike, and walk instead of drive. Some of these programs even offer cash and prize incentives to get people out of their cars. Smart Trips is an example of a successful program in Northwest Washington.
The goal of the program is really to help decongest Whatcom County roads. One of the ways we encourage people to participate in Smart Trips is we have rewards and incentives. So you set up a diary online and you log every trip you make in that's not a single occupancy vehicle trip. So walking, biking, riding the bus, and carpooling all count as a smart trip.
Okay.
And you have your own trip diary. So you log each trip you make. You can log 1 trip a day. And each trip you make that's not alone in the car. And if you log 5 trips for the month, you're automatically entered in a $250 prize drawing.
Okay.
If you log 5 trips each month of the quarter, then we do a $1,000 prize drawing, and you're automatically entered in those drawings.
Wow, cool.
All these colored lines on the map are called go lines, and these go lines all run every 15 minutes, and they all have weekend service.
The beauty is most of the places we go, I think we can be on one of the colored lines.
I'm very lucky that usually my commute is from right there to right there, and it's
awesome.
usually walking. But there are times, like last week, I was 3 times on the road, to Mount Vernon, to Seattle.
Each bus has 3 slots for bikes. So, and I brought a little brochure on it. It's pretty easy. Kids are free on the bus until they're 8 years old.
Alden, how do you feel about the bus, buddy? Yeah? Do you like to ride on the bus?
Yeah, this bus.
You want that bus in particular?
Yeah.
The Falcones are also learning about alternative forms of transportation.
One of the things we really want people to think about is those short, simple trips. People think, oh, it doesn't make a big difference. It's only a mile down the road to the grocery store. I'm just going to hop in my car. It's faster. But that mile of a cold engine running pollutes far more. I mean, the first 5 miles you drive pollute the same as if you had driven 10 miles because the car runs so inefficiently. And 40% of all the trips in pretty much across the country, but definitely for Bellingham, are under 2 miles.
40%.
40% of driven trips. And of those, 20% of those trips are a mile or less.
Isn't that stupid?
Stupid. It's amazing. So if you think of all those trips, I mean, think if everybody just cut out those mile or less trips and could cut down on their driving by that amount, what it would do. And you're not even that far, actually, from the Plum Line.
No,
is right on Lakeway.
Yeah,
so you can get
close.
15-minute service downtown on the Plum Line.
That's even better.
Yeah.
I think
Pick
that's
the
all
trips
my
you can
questions.
change those, and
Okay.
think about other ones that you might not have even thought of. That well, I could take the bus, and it'd be a nice change for you.
All right.
Next, the Bike Buddies pay a visit. But can the family survive the open road? It seems there are a variety of reasons to stay in the car and on the highway.
I'm a little nervous about Alina being on a bike.
Absolutely, there's anxiety.
In theory is a great way to get the kids around, especially just to go to park.
And I think that it's a pretty safe city for bikes, but I don't know that we have a lot of space for bikes on our roads.
You know, even if you just get barely hit on one of those things, you could be 6 months in a hospital.
It's scary from an exercise point of view. I used to certainly be an athlete, but I think all those years of training have worn me out.
We have the bikes under the deck, and we've only used them like 3 or 4 times.
We have bikes, but they're terrible.
One of the biggest reasons people avoid two-wheeled transportation is because of safety concerns, and the Falcone bicycles have sat untouched for quite some time.
Well, this is the bike storage area.
Nice.
Yeah, the weeds are growing around it.
Growing in it. Hasn't been
Okay.
ridden too recently.
Well, this is my wife's bike. So she hates this bike.
She's not a big fan.
She hates it.
Okay.
That one laying down over there is my son's bicycle, but I think he's grown beyond that.
Oh, frame's a little bit small. Maybe.
Yeah.
Looks like it was a nice bike, though.
Very nice bike. And then the green one over here is mine.
So why does Jaylyn hate her bike?
She had our son in a little bike seat on the back of a bike earlier, like 9, 10, 15, I don't know, a long time ago.
A long time ago, we'll say.
I was riding on the road to the grocery store and I had him behind me, and I don't know, I think I hit the change in the pavement to curb kind of thing too close, and I completely wiped out, and I kind of dove under the bike because I was worried about him. He was like a year and a half old, so I didn't want him to get all crushed up. And I took the skin off of the hold down the front of my legs and on my arms. I had shorts on.
She's not too keen on riding bikes, but this being not a comfortable, easy bike to ride, she's really not keen on it.
Afraid, really, to ride. Every time I go on the road with the bike, I'm like, oh, I get really nervous.
Despite their concerns, both families are assigned a bike buddy to help them get back in the saddle.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Ellen. I'm Todd.
So the first thing that I'd like to do is just see your bikes, and we would go over some of the safety features or just the mechanical features and make sure that they're working right, or maybe I can give you some tips about adjustments, okay?
What's your guys' goal as a family on your bikes? What do you want to do? Ride them?
I want to
ride. I don't
ride
think any
them.
of us feel very safe. I
Okay.
know Lena doesn't feel safe because I don't think we've ever really lived in a place that I felt safe having her ride her bike.
Okay, like on the roads?
Right,
Or, okay,
on the roads.
So dealing with traffic is the big
Right.
thing, the
Yeah.
confidence level with
Yeah.
that.
We ask people to make sure before every ride that they check certain priority things. And the way to remember, it's a pretty easy little acronym, the ABC Quick Check. So the first one is A for air, and you're looking at your tires to make sure that they have the proper amount of inflation. And the way to do that, you know, is to make, just squeeze the top.
This is my crappy bike. I'll never want to ride again. Hate it. Hate it. But that's my good seat. It's just the only way I survive.
Oh, that's why.
Then the next one, B. Want to guess what B is for?
Brakes.
Brakes. Okay, so the brakes, they have a couple of things that you want to check. The squeezing of the brakes, you're looking not just up at here, but where it actually hits the rim.
Do you guys have your helmets too?
Oh yeah,
We don't have all of our helmets either.
Yeah, see? This is why we don't ride bikes.
It's been a while since we've ridden.
Now we're on to C, which is what you were saying,
Rust.
the cassettes. C for rust. Yes.
Crest.
It's the chain, the crank, and the cassettes. So all of this drivetrain is C, so that you're looking at all of those things just to make sure that they're engaged. I think that as an everyday type of thing, you know, before you ride, the main thing that you're looking for really is just, is the chain actually on, so that you're not going to try and step on the pedal and it'll go nowhere.
Here, Alina.
She's too big for that one.
Oh. Well, it's a flat tire too.
You got weeds.
Flat tire.
Well, good. We have lots of work to do on these bikes before they're safe and ready for the roads.
So then the check is just to ride your bike for the first few feet, or if it's easy enough, you just sit on, you know, do a little circle in your driveway just to see if everything is kind of working the way it's supposed to.
Right.
And then you're ready to go.
Perfect. So you want me to actually get on it and do that?
Tires, seat adjustments, handlebars, chains, and quicker than you can say ABC Quick Check, the families hit the road. There may be a bump or two ahead, but the teams are headed to the starting line of the next big family-to-family challenge, the Alternative Transportation Road Rally, a race to see who can get around town the quickest without their cars. Of course, the challenge starts with a bike trip, but are the families ready?
Uh-oh. Just shifted twice.
There are concerns all around as the families head to the starting point of the race.
I mean, it's definitely going to be difficult because if anything has to be done quickly, there's not a lot that happens quickly in our family.
But we enjoy riding with the kids.
Yeah, and the kids love it once they get going.
Should be fun.
Okay.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I think the other family, the Edisons, have an edge on us today. Seriously, we haven't been on our bikes in at least a year. And we just started riding the bus like 3 days ago. So all of this is newbie stuff for us.
Yeah,
right, babe?
Oh, yeah.
Now, your first gear doesn't work, I noticed.
We're ready.
Oh my God, who's on my seat?
Oh, I was.
Dad, you have to come fix it. What'd you mess with my seat for?
Because I had to ride your bike with the kids to the park yesterday.
I think that's too high.
Is it too high?
Yeah, it looks too high. Oh my gosh, too low. Yeah.
Try that.
Okay, let me see. I think down maybe an inch, maybe.
Oh my God.
We're following you like little lemmings.
Okay. Maybe you want to get off and walk it down.
Hey, Mommy, like I said, your first gear doesn't work.
What do you mean my first gear doesn't work? It worked fine until you rode it.
Hey, look for cars before you go. Easy, girl.
I'm thinking you're a liability to the team.
I'm tired. I can't wait till this first leg is over.
Yeah, we're not even there at the race yet.
Well, that was a big hill.
That other team better be pulling a cart, man.
Next time on the Greenest House, it's ready, steady, go, as the families battle head-to-head to see who'll win the prize in the road rally. And the Green Plumber comes to visit.
Wow.